Heisman Trophy. But their professional careers have not been as fruitful until now. Doug Flutie and Vinny Testaverde have resurrected their NFL careers with new teams, each going undefeated in starting roles. With the AFC East lead on the line today, their paths cross. We are in the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey for a game that you can mark down as critical in the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. A look at the standings in the AFC East will tell you why. Miami a winner today. New England has lost. The winner of this game joins the Dolphins atop the AFC East. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Along with Phil Simms, I'm Greg Gumbel. We are so looking forward to this game today. Two hot teams here. Let's start with the Buffalo Bills. Winners of 5 in a row and a quarterback whose name is on the lips of everyone around, and that's Doug Flutie. But since their 0-3 start, Phil, these Bills are a different team.
Well, they're a different team because of the quarterback, Doug Flutie. And what they're doing, they're building this offense around him. They're rolling the quarterback out more, giving him a chance to make those plays. And also, he loves being in the shotgun. That enables him to take the snap from center and run around if he has to, if the pass rush gets to him.
On the other side of the field, the other talked about quarterback in this game, and that's Vinny Testaverde of the New York Jets, who is 5-0 as the Jets starting quarterback.
5-0, and he's playing terrific. I think Vinny Testaverde physically is one of the most gifted quarterbacks in the National Football League. The reason he's having such great success now, 2 interceptions. His decision-making has been terrific.
You talk about domination. The Buffalo Bills have won 6 straight from the Jets and 18 of the last 21. The Jets would like to bring that to a halt. The kickoff is up next when we come back. Won the toss. A look at Bill Parcells, and you see his numbers. As the Jets head coach on the other side of the field, Wade Phillips, who did not panic as his Bills started 0-3. They've won 5 in a row, and the kick is taken at the 10 by Kevin Williams of the Jets. Across the 25 out to about the 27-yard line. Vinny Testaverde is the New York Jets quarterback, completing close to 60% of his passes, 12 touchdown passes, and 2 interceptions. Here is the offense he brings onto the field with him. Up front, Jumbo Elliott, Todd Berger, Kevin Mawai, who will be challenged by Ted Washington, the nose tackle today. Jason Fabini, the rookie, at right tackle. Curtis Martin and Keith Byers in the backfield. Johnson and Crevette, the wide receivers. And Kyle Brady, the tight end. Brady in motion, and Testaverde over the middle, and it is intercepted. Tapped and intercepted by the Buffalo Bills, Sam Cowart, number 56, and the big turnover right off the bat.
Coming out with a play-action pass, the New York Jets. Watch Keyshawn Johnson come right down the middle. He's open. Vinny Testaverde does not get the ball high enough. John Holisek, number 52, tips it, and what an interception by Sam Cowart. Watch this, just the hand, tips it up in the air. Good reaction by the rookie, Sam Cowart.
So now, the Bills take over at the Jet 38-yard line. And Flutie will throw on first down. Over the middle, incomplete. Intended for number 83, Andre Reed. Doug Flutie arrives in this game 4-0 as the starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. Here's the Buffalo offense. Up front, Hicks starts for the injured John Fina. Brown, Ziegler, Panos, and Ostrowski complete the offensive line. Antoine Smith and Sam Gash in the backfield. Moles and Reed, the wide receivers, and Lonnie Johnson, the tight end. Antoine Smith breaks it to the outside and is brought down after a pickup of about 2. Aaron Glenn coming up from the cornerback spot to make the tackle. Let's look at the New York Jet defense. Up front, Lyle, Ferguson, Logan, and Anthony Pleasant. The linebackers are Mo Lewis, Pepper Johnson, and Brian Cox. We mentioned Aaron Glenn at one corner, Otis Smith is the other, Victor Green and Jerome Henderson are the safeties. Vinny Testaverde, whose deflected pass was picked off and has the Bills in prime position. 4 wide receivers for the Buffalo Bills. Bad snap. Flutie chases it down, rolls out, and throws incomplete, and a penalty marker flies. Pass intended for Andre Reed.
You know, Greg, what happened at the snap?
This will go against the Bills.
What happened at the snap? Watch Doug Flutie. He usually is 5 yards back, but since the crowd noise was loud.
Illegal touching, 83 offense, came from out of bounds and was the first to touch it. Penalty is declined, 4th down.
But you saw Doug Flutie got so close because he doesn't like the silent snap count. He wants his offensive lineman to hear him. He got close. The snap was too hard. That's the reason why it went over his head.
Chris Moore to kick. Dedrick Ward is back to the Jets. Moore will aim for the sideline. It bounces inside the 15 and takes a jet bounce back toward the 15-yard line. 23-yard punt as we take our first time out here in the first quarter. Welcome back to Giant Stadium. Early in the first quarter, 13:43 to play, and Vinny Testaverde doesn't look like he's too concerned about that first interception.
Well, that's good. I tell you, as a quarterback, I hated throwing an interception on my first throw. Vinny Testaverde's got to think it's over with. I got to come out here, and you still got to be aggressive. You can't worry about making mistakes.
First down, Jets from their own 15-yard line. Curtis Martin. Not much there. Take a look at the Buffalo defense, which created a turnover on the first play from scrimmage. Up front are Hanson, Ted Washington, Sean Price, and Bruce Smith. The linebackers, Sam Rogers, John Holisek, and Gabe Northern. In the secondary, Ken Irvin and Thomas Smith, Henry Jones, and Manny Martin starts for the injured Kurt Schultz. Second and 8. Straight ahead, Martin.
Well, one of the reasons why the New York Jets want to do a lot of things today, they want to be creative, and they want to throw the ball probably is this guy, number 92, Ted Washington. It's hard to run it up the middle. You can see good playing off blocks, but most of all, his size, he's just impossible to move.
Just to show that people have a sense of humor, he's listed at 325 pounds. He's nowhere near 325.
He said the last time I weighed 325, I was in high school, so he even makes fun of it.
3rd and 7. Testaverde, near side, has it complete to Keyshawn Johnson, diving for the first down, and he may have gotten there.
That was some play by Keyshawn Johnson. Vinny Testaverde throws an interception on his first pass. So the second time you come back, let me tell you, he's going to be careful with this football. Outside and low, and watch this catch. Down, then he has the presence. Then he has the presence after he makes a good catch to get up the sideline, reach the football out, and pick up the first down.
That equals the number of catches Keyshawn Johnson had the whole game a week ago against Kansas City. Martin. And Martin tripped up just as he got back to the line of scrimmage.
You know, that's one of the reasons why the New York Jets, you know, talking to John Holisek, the middle linebacker for the Buffalo Bills, he says they come out in crazy formations. They do so many different things on offense, and one of the reasons why they do is that last play is an example. They just can't line up. They can't overpower a defensive front, especially Buffalo's, so they basically try to confuse you, catch you off guard.
3 wide receivers for the Jets on 2nd and 10.
Get out, Dave, get out!
Give it to Martin straight ahead. Shakes one tackler, can't shake a second, and he may have gained a couple of yards on the play. Sam Rogers and Holisek again in on the tackle.
Well, that's what they do. Keith Byers goes out of the backfield. The Jets are hoping you think pass, but watch this. 2 linebackers from the weak side. You can't block them. The Jets thought one of them would run towards the quarterback. John Holisek comes in, makes the first hit, and ruins the running play for Curtis Martin. You know, Bill Parcells, so many people, well, you always think of him as a running football coach, but we know, watch them this year, what they do. This is an offense that tries to score, tries to be explosive.
3rd and 9. Short flip is complete, but that'll be shy of first down yardage to Curtis Martin out of the backfield.
That was a good play by Marlo Perry, the linebacker. They cleared everybody out. Then you take your fast little halfback, Curtis Martin, You try to catch the defense off guard, let him catch it and run for yardage. Good tackle, good coverage.
Here's John Kidd, just signed this week by the Jets. Replaces Brian Hansen. Not a good kick at all, but it bounces sideways before the Jets get it down at about the 35-yard line. So that's where the Bills will go to work when we come back. 10-10 to play here in the first quarter of a scoreless game.
We are every week or so.
Back at the Meadowlands, Buffalo with first down at their own 35-yard line. First 3 drives of this game have amassed a total of 18 yards between the two clubs. Flutie under center gives Antoine Smith right side, big hole, and up close to a first down. Pickup of 9 on the play. The tackle is made by Brian Cox. And let's go down to our man on the sideline, Armin Katayan. Armin.
Greg, you know, if Doug Flutie needed any more signs pointing his direction, well, here's another one. He's 9-0 in this stadium, dating back to his days at Boston College and the New Jersey Generals. In fact, in 1985, in a home opener for the Generals, Flutie ran for 3 touchdowns and beat the LA Express, who at the time was quarterback for them was pretty good. A guy named Steve Young. Back to you.
You heard of him? Straight ahead, Sam Gadd, penalty marker on the play.
See, Armin's wrong. Steve Young wasn't really that good then. See, he became good. Back then, he was just another guy.
Offside call against the Jets.
You know, the Buffalo Bills, they feel like today, this is the first.
58 defense. That's a 5-yard penalty resulting in first down.
That's James Ferrier, who came onto the field for 1 play and then left.
But the offense today is the first time this year they feel like they match up really well against the defense. They think Antoine Smith, their running back, can have a big day running against the Jet defense, which they don't feel like is real fast.
First down, Buffalo from the 49. Flutie floats to his left, hits Gash out of the backfield across the Jet 45 to about the 44-yard line. Brian Cox forced him out of bounds after an 8-yard pickup.
Well, Doug Flutie, everything he does, nothing is conventional. He finds ways to get it done. Watch him here on the play-action pass. Nothing simple. Can't see down the field. So what he does, and something he does very well, he always kind of floats to the right or left, steps around, makes sure he has good angles. He can see where he's throwing the football. That's one of the big reasons why he has success.
Thurman Thomas into the game for the Bills. And he gets the handoff, picks a hole left side, and runs across the 40 for a 5-yard gain and a first down.
You know, early you can see that why the Buffalo Bills think they can run this football. A little overpowering up front so far. Fast, Thurman Thomas plays a good role in this football team now, comes in and spells Antoine Smith, and when he comes in, he looks explosive, he's very productive, and the Bills couldn't be happier with the role he's playing on this football team.
Antoine Smith back into the game. First down, Bills at the Jet 39. Straight ahead is Smith for a couple. We've been talking all weekend long about what these teams want to accomplish out there. Let's start with the Bills.
Well, the Bills, they'd love to run the football. We can see that. The New York Jets on defense today, a lot of concerns. Stop the running game. That's always your first concern, but they have real concerns because Antoine Smith, the size and the speed that he has. But really, the other big thing is, can we keep Doug Flutie in the pocket? And Bill Belichick, they came up with a lot of ideas, but I think Bill Parcells said it right. He goes, they're all good in theory, but the big thing is when they work on the football field.
Double tight end. Bills on 2nd and 7. Flutie, quick drop, pulls it down and goes straight ahead to about the 35, maybe the 34-yard line.
You know, this is a good example again. Hey, good play by the New York Jets defense, but what it tells you too, you think you've got a sack of the quarterback, and Doug Flutie gets in this situation a lot. Rick Lau comes through, but Flutie does a good job, takes a play that should be a 5-yard sack. He ends up picking up about a half a yard, helps his team stay in really good situations.
See, Flutie's, one of his strengths as quarterback is avoiding the sack. 3rd and 6.
This time he's underneath the center, no shotgun.
Quick drop, slant in is complete, and that's enough for a first down to Eric Moulds.
Eric Moulds is just really come up big so far for the Buffalo Bills this year. Wade Phillips said he had a terrific training camp, so he inserted him in the starting lineup. He goes, you know, last year, he says, this guy had a terrific training camp. We didn't start in the beginning of the year, and then we didn't hear from him. He just kind of got down in the dumper, was a little upset because he wasn't a starter. He quit working this year. He's matured, and he's been a productive football player so far.
First down at the 26. Smith. And Antoine Smith across the 25 to about the 23-yard line.
You know, this is always, as you watch this drive by the Buffalo Bills, this is the nightmare for the opposing coach. Don't let the other team pound it at you and run the football. When they do, it beats your defense down. The offense always has the upper hand. Hard to make plays against the offense when you're always fighting, somehow trying to stop the running game.
Revolving running back has Thurman Thomas back in there again. He takes the handoff. Looks for room around the right side and is met and brought down. Looks like a gain of maybe a yard at the most by Pepper Johnson and Victor Green.
Well, the Jets, Greg, everybody, you're right. They were worried about the running game. So that time they put about 7 people up the line of scrimmage and said they're going to try to make you throw the football to beat them today. 2 things, make you throw it and keep, of course, Doug Flutie in there while he throws it.
Bill Belichick and his defense now looking at another big 3rd down and 6 at the 22 and 4 wide receivers in for Buffalo. Quick drop, another slant, this one behind Moles, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, Doug Flutie told us yesterday the Jets, they just do everything on 3rd down. That's where you got to be ready. Watch the safety. Victor Green right up the middle. Nobody blocks him. Makes Doug Flutie get rid of the ball a little quicker. Jerome Henderson, number 26 there too. Hard for a quarterback to be accurate when you got to get rid of the football that fast.
Steve Christie missed his first 2 field goal attempts of the season, has now made 13 straight from less than 49 yards. This one from 41 is good. So the Bills draw first blood with 4:28 to play in the first quarter. Buffalo 3, the Jets nothing.
Let's see. Whoa. Right hand. Nah, let's switch it to the left. 2 hands. Nah. Dunk on him? Let's save it. Oh, here we go.
In case you forgot, you're supposed to eat stuffed crust backwards. With a ring of cheese baked right into the crust, it's the most fun you can have with the pizza. Right now, a larger one topping is only $9.99. Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof.
Would you like to work here?
I'm not housebroken.
If we don't get this job done, everybody's gone.
The biggest hit of 1998 is coming to video. Armageddon. Critics rave it's bigger than life. Total complete fun. Armageddon, rated PG-13. Only on video Friday, November 13th.
Hey, who's going to start the fire?
You know what? I hope we get snowed in.
Yeah, me too. That'd be great.
These are the days.
Yeah, definitely going to try the snow.
That's your days. Enjoy the wine.
Ray's on an ego trip.
All aboard!
Is he ever coming back?
I'm not self-centered.
Raymond loves Raymond. An all-new episode, CBS Monday.
Monday here on CBS, Ted Danson stars as a doctor who isn't afraid to tell it like it is. Newsday calls his show the best new comedy of the year. Catch the new hit comedy Becker Monday right here on CBS. Welcome back to Giant Stadium. Steve Christie kicks it away to Aaron Glenn and Kevin Williams. This is Glenn at the 5. 20. And brought down shy of the 30-yard line. And that'll stop the clock with 4:17 to play here in the first quarter. And the New York Jets trying to at least pull even.
Cars
are now breaking the sound barrier. Serves are clocked at 140. We can travel 18,000 miles an hour into space. So how come pain relief isn't faster? Introducing Advil Liquid Gels, the first and only pain reliever in a faster-acting liquid-filled capsule that's gentle on your stomach. On tough pain, Advil Liquid Gels are stronger and faster than extra-strength Tylenol. Headaches to muscle aches. New Advil Liquid Gels. Advanced medicine for pain. Stronger and faster.
They pioneered Ethernet, and for the first time, computers could easily communicate with each other. Today, 3Com is making global impact across the full breadth of networking, connecting more computers in more companies in more ways than anyone. And at home, 3Com technology is the connection to the whole wide world. Where do you learn about the leaders who are making a difference? Exactly. NASDAQ Amex, the market of markets.
The truck. The award. The new Chevy Silverado, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year. It's bigger, it's more powerful. It's the truck from Chevrolet.
Blair Underwood, Queen Latifah, Della Reese, Mario Van Peebles, and Cicely Tyson in Alex Haley's Mama Flora's Family, CBS Tonight.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chevrolet Trucks and by NASDAQ Amex Market Group, the market of markets.
Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Kateyan. 4:17 to play, first quarter. Bills with a 3-0 lead. The Jets start first down from their own 28. Curtis Martin cuts it back inside and gets nothing. In fact, he may have lost a yard on the play. Let's talk about what's happening in the middle.
Well, that's where all the action is. Ted Washington, number 92, against Kevin Mawai, number 68. And Bill Parcells last week, after the game, said to Kevin Mawai, got him on a plane, brings him up and says, I brought you in here because of this guy, number 92. Last year we couldn't block him. You're big enough. I want you to get in there and see what you can do. And, of course, Kevin Mawai says, well, gosh, I hope you brought me in more than just for that.
Testaverde, play action fake, throws over the middle, incomplete. Wayne Corbett down the middle. Time to check in for the first time today for an NFL Today report. Here's Jim Nance. Jim.
All right, Greg, they're calling this the Desperation Bowl out in Seattle. These two teams, 4-4, and Ricky Watters in the end zone. And they've just picked off Elvis Gerback, and they're inside the 5, ready to go in again. Let's go back now to Greg and Phil.
Tough place to play, that Seattle Kingdom.
I think that's a good name for a Desperation Bowl because they're both 4-4, and they still got games against Denver, against each other, the division, so it's going to be hard to go the rest of the season and not lose a couple games. 3rd and 10 for the Jets. Testaverde steps up, throws over the middle, complete. Keyshawn Johnson has enough for a first down. 15-yard pickup. Well, you can tell the New York Jets really respect the Buffalo Bills pass rush, and the big thing you can see why is they're doing play-action passes on 3rd downs. They're just trying to make the Bills' defensive line slow up just a little bit to give Vinny Testaverde that extra half second to throw the football down the field. And the Bills, one of the few teams in the league that can take their front 4 defensive guys and get pressure on the quarterback. Jets move the ball up to their own 44 now. And Testaverde going to throw again. More time has Quebec. To the 33.5-yard line, 21-yard pickup and another first down. Well, this is something the New York Jets love to do. They love to throw what they call seam passes, where wide receivers, watch, Wayne Corbett is going to go this way between the safety and the corner. Look at the little seam, and Vinny Testaverde, just a quick fake, holds the linebackers underneath and lets him throw over the top. Good execution between Wayne Corbett and Vinny Testaverde. Wayne Corbett first downs are his absolute specialty. 34 of them, the most in the NFL. Last week he caught 6 passes against Kansas City, 5 of them for first downs. Martin to the near side, trying to
pressure in the corner and cannot. Dragged down from behind by Holisek.
Well, you can tell just by watching this game, 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter, the Jets going to throw the ball a lot until this Buffalo Bills defense maybe gets tired and they can start running on it, because they are not winning any battles up front. Curtis Martin is supposed to go inside. He takes his speed and goes outside, still nothing there. Thomas Smith, John Holisek, both on the tackle. There's Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator.
Killing that dog.
Hey. He's nervous. He wants to make sure his calls are working out there.
2nd and 9. Testaverde flips to Brady. Brady dodges one tackler forward to the 25-yard line. 8-yard pickup, and that'll be just shy of first down.
Well, Kyle Brady, he's like the guy that's, well, where's he been? That's what everybody in New York wants to know. Over the first couple years, didn't catch many passes this year, especially the last couple weeks. Big part of the offense now. Even Bill Parcells said, we're putting plays in there for him to catch the football and make something happen.
3rd and 1. This is a conversation you and Bill Parcells had, is getting more and more difficult to accomplish in the National Football League.
Almost impossible to run the ball inside in these situations. So you throw it.
Testaverde with time, throws over the middle. Johnson, touchdown! What an adjustment Vinny Testaverde made. Keyshawn Johnson, 25-yard touchdown pass from Vinny Testaverde. Vinny looked up, pulled it down, went back up in another direction.
You know, we said at the beginning of the show, physically, he's as gifted as any quarterback in the National Football League. That was a great example of it. Stood there with the ball in his hand, looked one way, and just flicked it for the touchdown over the middle to Keyshawn.
John Hall for the extra point. Hall is now 22 of 23 for the season. Vinny Testaverde goes up top, sees it complete, and says, we got the lead. 45 seconds to play, first quarter. Scoring drive, eclipsed time, 3 minutes, 43 seconds, and we are down to the last 45 seconds of the first quarter. Deep for the Bills is number 82, Kevin Williams. Williams from the 6. The 20, outside, 30, and knocked out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown play.
Well, let's watch Vinny Testaverde on the touchdown. He looks right. He's looking for Fred Baxter. He's not open. Look, he doesn't even reload. He keeps his arm in the air and just flicks the ball in the end zone for the touchdown to Keyshawn Johnson. Then watch, here's why Keyshawn Johnson gets open. What sells it outside makes Thomas Smith hesitate just for a second, but don't put your arm up. The quarterback's going to see you. But a perfect throw by Vinny Testaverde.
Oh, wait, sure. Then they come back to the huddle and you guys say, I didn't see you. Thurman Thomas in the backfield for the Bills. First down from the Jet 36. Quick drop by Flutie. Lobs it for Moles and complete at the Jet 40-yard line. Great adjustment to the pass by Eric Moles, 24-yard pickup.
Well, this is the combinations that they're making things happen for the Buffalo Bills offense. Eric Moles, Doug Flutie. That time, Otis Smith, watch, number 45, never turns and sees the ball. Eric Moles makes the adjustment, and that's some catch. Turn it all the way around and making the catch.
And before another play goes off, time will wind down here in the first quarter. It's a battle for a share of the lead in the AFC East. The Miami Dolphins have already won today. Who will join them? The Bills or the Jets? It's 7-3 Jets after one. Ends. We're back for the start of the second quarter. Linebacker James Ferrier onto the field for the Jets. First down at the 39-yard line for Buffalo. Flutie over the middle has his man, Andre Reed, inside the 25 to the 22-yard line. 18-yard pickup.
Well, that time the New York Jets came in with a special defense. Watch the left side of your screen, number 58, James Ferrier. He comes on the blitz. It's man coverage behind him. They took out one of the defensive backs. First down, they're thinking run. They want to stop the running game of the Buffalo Bills. But Andre Reed, one-on-one coverage, tough to cover across the field.
The Jets call it Wahoo for Ferrier School of Virginia. Flutie throws far side, almost intercepted. intercepted by number 21, Victor Green.
Victor Green, one of the best safeties, I think, in the National Football League. Big hitter, does a great job of tackling, can cover wide receivers down the field. And, of course, when he gets matched up against a tight end, this time it's number 84, Lonnie Johnson. He's all over him, and he sees the ball in the air, makes a good reaction, comes underneath, just can't make the catch.
2nd and 10 for the Bills at the Jet 22. Antoine Smith straight ahead and picked up maybe 2, and we'll take this opportunity to remind you that tomorrow on CBS it's Outtake Monday. Catch all new episodes of your favorite Monday comedies: Cosby, The King of Queens, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Becker, starring Ted Danson. And all night long, see the stars flubbed in their most hilarious outtakes ever. It's followed by an all-new LA Doctors tomorrow night, right here on CBS. Our outtake show is going to last 3 hours.
I've never made a mistake. It's all on you, right?
There's one.
Thank you. That's a line.
3rd and 8 from the 20. Flutie in the shotgun. Quick flip to the left side. Kevin Williams, and Williams pick up of maybe a yard. And that'll bring the field goal unit onto the field.
Well, that's one of those plays you put in. That's a coach just trying to take advantage of the system, make it easy for the players. They throw a screen play to the outside. They know the Jets are going to be doing everything. The crowd noise, make it easy on your quarterback and the players. Didn't work, though.
From 28-yard line, it'll be a 38-yard field goal attempt. And Christie's field goal attempt is perfect. That stops the clock with 13:05 to play here in the first half. It's a one-point game. The Jets lead at 7-6. And Gash getting his right ankle taped as we return to the action. Steve Christie will kick it away after booting a 37-yard field goal, his 2nd of the day. And it's a 7-6 Jets lead. Aaron Glenn, Kevin Williams deep for the Jets. This is Williams from the 9. 25. Across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. We'll remind you, coming up at halftime, we'll be sending you off to New York for the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Jim Nantz, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, George Seifert, getting you caught up on all the action from this 10th weekend of the 98 NFL season. That's coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Vinny Testaverde back onto the field, and he'll begin from the 32-yard line. Vinny's numbers, that interception coming on the first offensive play of the game. And number 33, Gerald Soule, is into the backfield now for the Jets. Bruce Smith jumping across the line. Let's see if he was drawn on.
Well, Bruce Smith, he has figured it out. The Jets are going to throw this football, so they moved him down inside. And you could watch him before the play. He was twitching. He was waiting.
Encroachment, 78 defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
He was lined up against Todd Berger. Here he is. You can see he was in constant movement. Every once in a while, the Bills, they like to push him down inside so he can go against a different guy. So, in other words, Jumbo Elliott, the left tackle, can't get in the rhythm of blocking Bruce Smith. So they give Bruce Smith somebody new and let him try a skill on him.
Soule takes the pitch, tries the right side, and there's not much there. Ken Irvin coming up from his cornerback position to make the stop. You know, we were talking earlier about Kevin Mawai and Bill Parcells saying, now this is the reason why I brought you in. You know, Mawai must look at Ted Washington and go, this is the reason you brought me?
I got to do what? I got to move him?
Officially, Mawai is listed at 6'4", 305.
And you know, when you see him next to Ted Washington, when they stand up next to each other, Kevin Mawai looks like he weighs about 200 pounds. He looks trim.
You got him.
2nd and 6 for the Jets. Testaverde, flip over the middle. Soule has enough for the first down.
Kevin Mawai, you know, the Jets, they can't say enough good things about him, though, Greg. He does a good job of blocking inside. Let's look at the play, though. Testaverde looks down the field, nobody open. Good decision by the quarterback. Drop it off to the running back, Gerald Soule. Look at Mawai against Bruce Smith, just throws him down to the ground. Good pass blocker, but his size, we mentioned, 305, able to power block, and also nimble enough to pull around on outside running plays and make those blocks.
First down, Jets, their own 43-yard line. This is Stoll again. Ted Washington and Bruce Smith combined to make that tackle.
But, you know, it's interesting. You know, you go to one coach and you hear the story, then we go to the other side and we hear the other story. You know, the Jets offense, let's keep cutting down Ted Washington. He's 365 pounds. Let's just make him keep getting off the ground. He'll get tired. So it sounds great, doesn't it? I said, you know, that makes sense. Then we go over to the Buffalo Bills, and Wade Wilson says, hey, Ted Washington is really playing well, especially in the fourth quarter. So it's ever how you perceive it, I guess.
2nd and 8 for the Jets. Testaverde, play action, has time, flips over the middle, complete. Stoll at midfield, and now to the Buffalo 45, lost the football. The Bills have it. Returning out of bounds at the 40-yard line is Donovan Greer.
Marlo Greer, number 58, just reached in, it looked like that time, and ripped it free. First off, what a good decision. This is why Vinny Testaverde is having a solid year. Nobody open down the field. Hey, throw it underneath, nice and safe. Gerald Soule goes down the field, and watch this. Marlo Perry, good job, just tears the football out of there. The tackle is being made. He knows the offensive man is going down. That's what defenders do in this league. Get both hands on the ball, rip it out of there.
Second turnover for the New York Jets.
And now you have to wonder, if you're Gerald Soule, will you get back in the game? Because you know how Bill Parcells got other running backs. You make a mistake.
Bills take over at the Jet 37. Flutie, time, throws down the middle, incomplete. Diving for the interception attempt was Victor Green, and he didn't get there. The pass in the general vicinity of Lonnie Johnson, his tight end.
Well, Doug Flutie that time just looked down the field way too long. He pumped the ball a couple of times, and when you do that, these safeties in the National Football League, they know the pass rush is going to get there. They react to the quarterback's eyes, and he was fortunate the ball wasn't intercepted.
We're talking about all the things we learned this week, talking to both sides. We also learned this week almost anybody can be governor. In case you hadn't noticed.
Well, yes, I noticed that. I pay attention to politics, too.
2nd and 10 from the 37. Coming this way, Antoine Smith. And he's met behind the line of scrimmage and pulled down by Mo Lewis. To a man, the New York Jets say Mo Lewis just doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Well, he doesn't. Nobody gives him the credit around the league. And you know what? To his credit, he doesn't worry about it, but he can do it all. I think Brian Cox said it best about Mo Lewis. He can cover guys. He's great against the run. He's a good flexor, and you can see the size and speed. That's why he should be going to Pro Bowl.
The Bills go forward wide receiver route on 3rd and 11 at the 38. Flutie down the sideline, intended for Reed, incomplete. Andre Reed doing battle with Aaron Glenn.
Boy, good job by Andre Reed. It looked to me like everybody's looking for pass interference. Watch Andre Reed. He goes down the field. He knows it's a blitz. Watch him put that arm up this time. Puts it on the top of Aaron Glenn. Keeps Aaron Glenn from going for the football.
And Chris Moore will come on to kick. Dedrick Ward back at his own 10-yard line. Moore gets it away. Sky-high kick. This will bounce at the goal line and through the end zone. 38-yard punt, no return. 9:39 to play in the first half when we come back to the Meadowlands. Don't go away.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sutter, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. Propecia, talk to your doctor today. And by Midas. For quality service, visit your neighborhood Midas today.
As we welcome you back, 9 minutes 39 seconds to be played here in the first half of what has been a hard-fought game thus far. The Jets with a 1-point lead. They have the ball first down at their own 20-yard line. Gerald Soule is back on the field for the Jets. He's the one who fumbled the football last time on the field. That pass intercepted for Keith, or intended for Keith Byers and incomplete.
Well, it makes me wonder, Gerald Soule back in there, Curtis Martin, well, why isn't he in there? I mean, it's been usually I can see you take him out for a play or two here and there, but for Curtis Martin to be out of the game for an extended period of time, you have to wonder if he's hurt.
Curtis Martin gained just 42 yards in 30 carries last week against Kansas City.
Well, he talked to him Friday. We talked to him, Greg. He said he's feeling good. Nothing wrong with him.
Testaverde, far side. Looked like much the same play, this time complete to Byers.
You know why it did is because it was. You know, it was the exact same play.
Pretty sharp, aren't I?
You're getting this football thing down, Greg.
We are told from the sidelines that there is nothing wrong physically with Curtis Martin.
Well, then maybe he wants, it tells me the Jets are thinking about throwing the football a little more. That's why they have Gerald Soule in there for blocking, not to wear Curtis Martin down, and maybe to use him more as the game goes on.
3rd and 5 for Testaverde and the Jets. Pitch to Soule. Soule cuts it inside, gets first down yardage across the 30, out to about the 33-yard line, an 8-yard pickup, and a Jets first down.
You know, the Jets love, one thing they love to do, causes a lot of confusion against defenses. They do what they call the bunch. Look up top here. You have 2 wide receivers. Now they're going to bring the tight end over there. Now all the defensive backs, you know what they're worried about? Who am I covering? What am I going to get if he comes out here? And then all of a sudden, oh, no, it's a run. It's too late to react. That's why the Jets sneak in there and get that first down.
First down at the 34. Soule comes this way. Cuts across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Well, coming this way, he was led by big Jumbo Elliott.
Jumbo Elliott, been one of the best power blockers in the National Football League for a long time, but Todd Berger, number 62, trying to get on Bruce Smith. Good job by Bruce Smith really stringing the play out, but not enough help from his defensive secondary to stop the run from picking up 7 yards.
There's Bruce. You saw Jumbo, number 76. Bruce had so many nice things to say about Jumbo last night.
You know, we got to give him an award. The first time we've had a player come in and talk good about the other guy. He says Jumbo Elliott is a good, solid, clean player.
Soule. And Soule a couple straight up the middle.
Because what do they usually say? We get a defensive lineman that comes in and talks to us the night before the game. It's always, oh, this offensive line, they're the worst holding line in the league.
What were the headlines here in New York from Brian Cox, who says that the Buffalo Bills are the cheatingest, holdingest team in the National Football League.
Oh, yeah. We said, what did you say to Coach Bill Parcells about that?
I said, do you care that Brian said that?
No, he goes, Brian Cox just threw it out there and everybody bet on it. You know, he just kind of had a laugh with it. And it doesn't mean anything, really.
Is that a first down? It is. It's just first down. In fact, Bill Parcells said Brian Cox did that just to jerk the media around a little bit.
He does. And, you know, a lot of people talk about Brian Cox. He's come in. He's been the perfect example or a good player, not causing any trouble. That I think that's what everybody expected. He's got along with Coach Parcells very well, and he's been an extremely productive player, and now he's a full-time starter.
Bill Parcells said he has gotten much more out of Brian Cox than he thought. First down now at the 44-yard line for the Jets. Soule comes this way. Lost the football. The Bills have it. Third turnover of the day. Manny Martin fell on it for the Bills.
Wow. Ted Washington in there knocking the ball loose that time.
And Gerald Soule with the second fumble of the day, and now you got to wonder who's going to run the ball.
Watch Ted Washington, number 92, come, well, 365 pounds. I want to say flying, but that might be a bad description. Watch him come across the screen. Boom. That big, that kind of force hits a running back. That will make you fumble.
3 turnovers for the New York Jets. First down from the 49 for the Bills. Straight ahead, big hole for Antoine Smith. And he's brought down just shy of the 40-yard line. We want to remind you, tomorrow is Outtake Monday here on CBS. Catch all new episodes of your favorite Monday comedies. Cosby, The King of Queens, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Becker, starring Ted Danson. And all night long, see the stars flub in their most hilarious outtakes ever. That's tomorrow night right here on CBS.
You know, everybody loves to see somebody else make mistakes. You know, we love that. So I'm sure it's going to be very funny.
2nd and 1 for the Bills. Smith, first down. And more. Stays on his feet across the 35, down to the New York Jet 32-yard line.
You know, you watch Antoine Smith run the football, and a lot of people really don't know who he is. But one thing he can do, he can plow it up in there when there's not a lot there. That time just lowers his head, bounces off the tackler, and moves forward for a first down.
When we sat down with Bill Parcells, right off the bat, he said, I'll tell you what, fellas, if we let them run the football on us, we can't win this game. Flutie to his right, throws on the run, incomplete, intended for Lonnie Johnson. Now, Parcells also told us that he wants to get Flutie running, and he'd prefer him to run to his right rather to his left.
You know, you were paying attention in those meetings. You know, that's good.
I've gotten a lot of sleep tonight before.
That's good. But, you know, you're right, Greg. When he said that, though, what do we all? We kind of look at each other and go, that can't be true.
Because Flutie throws very well on the run.
But when a quarterback runs to his right, it always cuts the field down. When Doug Flutie runs to his left, he squares up, and now he can throw anywhere. And when we get his example later in the game, if he moves left, we'll show you. But when he runs right, immediately he can only do a couple things, throw to the sideline or in front of him.
If Bill Parcells has his way, he won't let Flutie roll to his left. Comes out to his right and throws. And that is complete to Jay Reamersman. 6-yard pickup.
And again, that type of play, Doug Flutie faking the run and then rolling out. The Bills love to do this. And of course I would too if I had Doug Flutie as my quarterback. But they worked so hard on this in practice this week. The linebackers stay with those backside receivers. Don't give up these little dinky passes, which can turn into big plays.
Here's the down that you said the Jets have been very tough on so far today. 3rd down.
So creative. They've given Buffalo Bills a lot of fits so far in this game.
Quick drop. Outside. Incomplete. Intended for number 82, Kevin Williams.
And one of the reasons why this team is doing so well on 3rd downs, you saw it, number 24, Ray Mickens. Wants to be a starter at cornerback, but he has a good knack of covering inside receivers and knocking the ball down. Probably gets, even though he only plays 3rd down situations, has probably got his hand on more footballs this year than any defensive back for the Jets.
Steve Christie has made 40 and 37-yard attempts this one from 44 yards out and looks pretty good. And it is. The Bills with 3 field goals on the board and a bunch of turnovers from the Jets lead at 9-7 here in the 2nd quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by First Union, your guide to the financial world, and by Stanley. Make something great.
Back at the Meadowlands, the Bills have just taken the lead on a 44-yard field goal by Steve Christie as you look at Gerald Soule and wonder if he's going to come in when the Jets take possession. That field goal by Christie, the first the Bills have put on the board in 3 Jet turnovers. Here's Kevin Williams from the 13. Tries to skirt to the outside and can't. He's pulled down by Gabe Northern, number 99. So the Jet offense comes onto the field. Keith Byers is one of the backs.
And Curtis Martin is the other back. He is back in the game.
Well, I was asking you, having played for Bill Parcells, you might be able to put the ball on the ground once and tread a little water.
You know, I have a hard time. I don't know what to say. You know, I threw a lot of interceptions for him, you know, so he kept putting me back in there sometimes. And I think what's probably disturbing the New York Jets, they found something that was working in the running game. The bigger back just getting outside, and he was just plowing it up in there. Curtis Martin, a different type of runner. He dodges players. He can't run them over.
Testaverde with time over the middle. Keyshawn Johnson in traffic. First down at the 40-yard line. 16-yard pickup. Keyshawn Johnson absorbing the hit and making the catch.
Well, that play had trouble written all over it. As I sit up here and I watch Testaverde throw it down the middle, 2 things come to my mind. A quarterback with a really strong arm throwing to a wide receiver who is really big. Manny Martin hits Watch this. Manny Martin just hits Keyshawn Johnson in the back, and it doesn't even budge Keyshawn Johnson. He lands on his feet and still picks up a couple more yards.
Meanwhile, Manny Martin is still down. He started at safety today for the injured Kurt Schulz, who still is bothered by a calf injury. Martin has been troubled by a bad back.
You know, Kurt Schulz was playing awful well, too, for the Buffalo Bills in the secondary, and they thought that he was going to be ready to play today, but he's not.
And number 40, Eric Smedley, has already come onto the field to replace Martin when he does depart. But they're still working on Manny. Manny, a free agent signee, spent 2 years with Ottawa in the CFL.
You know, and he ran into Keyshawn Johnson that time. I can't tell what he heard. He's shaking his hand and his arm. But you had a chance to practice with the Jets. You stood next to Keyshawn Johnson. This is well, he's almost like a glorified tight end. A little thinner, but he's big, he's tall.
Although Bill Parcells does make fun of his legs.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, come on. You know, Coach Parcells was in shorts, and there he is making fun of Keyshawn Johnson's legs. He said, man, if I had calves the size of yours, I'd wear long pants. Of course, he's the coach. He can get away with those things.
First down from the 40-yard line. Testaverde rolling to his right. Throws, sideline, incomplete. Intended for Dedrick Ward, number 89. Ken Irvin covering. The Jets playing this game without one of the fine return men in the league, and Leon Johnson, who has a sprained knee.
Well, he does so much for the New York Jets, Leon Johnson. Hard to replace, returns. You know, he was a good third down guy. And look at all the things Leon Johnson out of action. Look what he does. Running yards, receiving, good receiver out of the backfield, but the return yards, that's the big thing they miss.
Manny Martin, number 21, back into the game for Buffalo on 2nd and 10. Screen, tip, caught by Martin, and Martin may have picked up a yard on the play.
Well, what that tip did, it really threw the timing of the screen off. The Buffalo Bills kind of caught that time. Testaverde has to reload, and number 91, Sean Price, just gets up and tips it. And boy, when you're a quarterback and that ball gets tipped in the middle of the field, just brace yourself, because you're going to be trying to make a tackle most of the time. That time, very fortunate to get the completion.
Testaverde looking at 3rd and 9, and he is 4 for 4 on 3rd down so far today. Jets have to get to midfield for the first down. Penalty marker. Testaverde over the middle. Keyshawn Johnson again in traffic with the reception for the first down. Bruce Smith may have jumped offside on the play. It's against Buffalo. The Jets will decline it and pick up the first down.
Well, this is one of those things.
Offside, 78 defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
But this throw and catch, Vinny Testaverde, the coach is talking about his good decision-making. As he throws these balls, I'm going, that is a terrible decision. But Keyshawn Johnson, again, no fear going over the middle, stretching out, making that catch.
Under 3 minutes to play for the first half now. Bills with a 2-point lead. Jets on the move now at the 49 or the 43-yard line of the Bills. Play action. Testaverde rolls, throws, hits Brady in the hands, and he drops incomplete. As you look at the scores today, Minnesota barely escaping the New Orleans Saints at home. And Atlanta, what a number they played on the New England Patriots today.
Yeah, probably that's, of course, the biggest surprise to me of the day. Atlanta, you know, they came here a few weeks ago and got destroyed by the Jets. You figure going up to New England, on the road, tough for that team. And I'm never amazed anymore about anything. Last week, Cincinnati, Denver were there. The Bengals played terrific.
2nd and 10. Martin, running room. Across the 35 to about the 34-yard line, and that'll bring them up about a yard shy of a first down as the clock winds down toward 2.5.
Well, here's that situation we talked about early in the game, 3rd and short. And we were talking about a few things with Coach Parcells. 3rd and short, he was talking, if you watch games around the league, how hard it is for all the teams in this National Football League to run it, to pick it up. And he even said, you know, I got to think about getting me a bigger back in there. I think that's one of the thoughts he might use down the road, get somebody big to run it in there.
Last time the Jets looked at 3rd and short, it was a 25-yard touchdown pass to Keyshawn Johnson. Pitch to Martin. First down yardage to about the 32. And that'll bring things to a halt for the 2-minute warning with a minute 56 showing on the clock here at the Meadowlands. Jets with a first down when we come back. Coming up at halftime, we'll be sending you to New York for the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Jim, Marcus, Brent, and George getting you caught up on scores and highlights. That's coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. 1:56 to play in the first half. Both teams have their full complement of timeouts and a good look at Big Ted Washington. First down, Jets at the Buffalo 32. Screen doesn't work at all. Sam Coward came in and shut it down.
Boy, a rookie from Florida State, Sam Coward. We asked Wade Phillips last night about him, and he says this guy, as a rookie, has come in, and what impresses him, he says, he makes a lot of plays in the backfield, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. There was one there, he diagnoses the play, he has the speed to react and do something about it.
Coward, 2nd round draft pick out of Florida State. 2nd and 13. On the draw, Martin trying to break free. Picked up about 3.
Well, you do a little draw play in that situation, trying to catch the defense off guard. But more importantly, you're watching the clock, trying to take it down, and you want to at least give yourself a chance to kick the field goal here. Don't just keep dropping back every time. Take a chance at the interceptions, the sacks, things like that.
Number 20, Richie Anderson, onto the field for the first time today for the Jets. Third and 9, Testaverde under the gun, throws downfield, incomplete. Jets want an interference call, but none is coming.
Well, Marcellus Wiley, number 75, putting the pressure on Vinny Testaverde. Watch Wayne Corbett from the inside, takes his time, runs down the field. Good adjustment to the football, but watch. Here's the reason why Vinny Testaverde couldn't get the ball down there. Look at this. Defender all over him.
John Hall will attempt a 49-yard field goal. He has hit one for 54 yards this season. Hall's kick is on the mark. With room to spare, the Jets take a 10-9 lead. 27 seconds to play, first half. Jets ready to kick it away. John Hall's 49-yard field goal has them on top to cap an 11 to play 45-yard drive that took almost 4.5 minutes off the clock. Mentioned at the very beginning of the game how the Bills have dominated this series. They have swept the season series each of the last 3 seasons. They've won 6 straight and 18 of 21.
And most of it's come down to the fact the Jets have never been able to block the defensive front of the Buffalo Bills.
Hall, line drive kick, bounces into and through the end zone until the Bills will begin at their own 20-yard line. I want to remind you, relive the action from today's games in CBS Sportsline's NFL Archive. With complete recaps and analysis, stats and quotes from every game at cbs.sportsline.com. Is that computer up and working yet?
I got it.
You got it what?
Yes, I've learned to set it up. I can turn it on. I just got to get somebody to teach me how to run it.
You are a techno wizard.
I'm getting there. Takes me a while. I'm a slow learner, as you can tell.
Although I will say, turning it on is key. 4 wide receivers for the Bills. All 3 timeouts available to them. 27 seconds on the clock. Flutie up the middle, guns it down the middle, complete at the 40-yard line to number 88, Quinn Early. And they stop the clock with 19 seconds to play. We'll be right back. Coleman the third-year cornerback in particular a good piece of his mind.
Well, somebody let one of the receivers come free, and he yelled at him, get over to the sideline, and he gave them all chewing out. You've got to keep Doug Flutie in the pocket, even in situations like this. The last play, they let him step up. He's going to find the open receiver.
Flutie over the middle, intercepted. Picked off by number 45, Otis Smith.
Otis Smith having a solid year. Last year he gave up a lot of big plays and touchdowns, but not this year. Watch Doug Flutie, back pedals, and here's what he does really well. He drifts to the left, finds that open hole. He anticipates the throw to Eric Modes, but Otis Smith, when that receiver broke inside, what a good job by him. Just went right underneath and looked for the football.
And now the offense comes onto the field. The rest of the offense comes onto the field. See Otis Smith having registered his first interception of the year.
Well, in that situation, the quarterback, Doug Flutie, I think you take the chance. Not a big mistake. You're only giving the Jets a chance at 2 plays. And look, you're trying to be aggressive, score before the end of the half. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake.
All 3 timeouts left for Vinny Testaverde. Rolling to his right, throws down the sideline, complete and out of bounds to number 89, Dedrick Ward. 6 seconds on the clock.
That took 6 seconds. The Jets taking no chances. Will bring in John Hall. This is only what? A 47-yard field goal. But what a good job of Vinny Testaverde moving out of the pocket, running to the right and making the perfect throw to Dedrick Ward.
As we said a few moments ago, Hall's longest this season is 54. This will be a 48-yarder. He connected from 49 a few moments ago. Movement on the line. The usual finger pointing. The summit by the officials. And a decision.
Maybe.
Offside, Buffalo.
Encroachment, number 75 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Marcellus Wiley, and that's about as animated as you will see Wade Phillips get.
Yeah, there's not too many things to get him upset. Right before that offsides, though, he was trying to make a timeout call. I don't know the reason why.
So now Hall from 43 yards away. That's on the money, too. John Hall with a 43-yard field goal as time expires. Our halftime score, the Jets 13 and the Bills 9. Coming up, off to New York and the NASDAQ MX halftime report. Jim Nance and company will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights from today's action after these messages from your local station. New York Jets leading the Buffalo Bills by a score of 13-9. Little ebb and flow to this game. What did you think the deciding factor was, at least in the first half?
Well, I thought the big thing was the Buffalo Bills, 3 turnovers, really couldn't do anything with it on offense. Great field position 3 times inside the Jets territory, only got those 3 points. The Jet defense came up big.
Take a look at the statistics, and you will see that there were 3 Jet turnovers in the first half, but the Bills only got a field goal out of those entire 3. Look at the total yardage. 200 total yards for the Jets to 127 for the Buffalo Bills, and the Jets leading the battle in the time of possession. As for the quarterbacks, how are they looking today? Well, Vinny Testaverde with the edge, 14 of 20, 157 yards, a touchdown, and an interception on the tipped pass. And Doug Flutie, 7 of 16 for 86 yards and the 1 interception.
I would think the Buffalo Bills will look to try to incorporate Doug Flutie more in the game, get him in the flow. You know, the first half, Doug Flutie had to feel like he just stood over on the sideline and was a spectator for most of it. They never gave him a chance on first downs to really get in rhythm.
Kevin Williams deep for Buffalo. From the 1. 20. Hurdles a man. Penalty marker flies. And Ray Lucas was the man down there for the Jets.
Quarterbacks are tough guys.
And it's a holding call against the Bills.
Holding 94 on the return team, on the run back. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Here's the guilty man. Speaking of guilty men, let's check in with Armin Katsaya.
Thanks, Greg. Wade Phillips was giving the referee a piece of his mind at the end of the first half, saying that the punt snapper, or the snapper, John Hudson, was turning his body and to draw the defense offside. He said, we need more points than 3 on those turnovers. As for Parcells, Curtis Martin is not hurt. Gerald Soule was in. He said, because people have been telling me I'm running Martin too much, so I listened to him. And he said, if we turn the ball over 3 times, we lose. Back to you.
All right, Armin. People have been telling Coach Parcells, and he's listening to him.
First down from the 17-yard line. They start off on the ground, and Antoine Smith may have gotten a yard. What were you telling me when Bill Parcells first started out as a coach, and the people that he listened to and the people he didn't want to listen to?
Well, you know, it almost gets you fired when you start listening to people, really. And I'll never forget after his first year, 3-12-1 with the New York Giants. I saw him about a week after the season's over. He looked at me and he said, Sims, if I've survived this thing and I'm coaching this team next year, we're going to do it my way. Because that would be the most dissatisfying thing in the world to coach, to not get it done and to do it somebody else's way.
Flutie over the middle, that ball knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Talked about the problems that the Bills had offensively in the first half. You would look at where they start. They started from the Jet 38-yard line on their first drive.
3 times inside the Jets territory and only got that 1 field goal. And again, Doug Flutie, he's a special quarterback. I think you need the special offense for him. The Bills have been doing that. I haven't seen as much of that today because they were trying to run the football against the Jets.
But down, the Jet defense has been tough on today. 3rd and 8, 4 wide receivers as Flutie barks out the signal. Floats to the left, throws down the sideline, incomplete. Batted down by number 26, Jerome Henderson, and the Bills will kick it away.
Well, that time, you know, again, Greg, we saw Doug Flutie move to the left, and he's taken a little too long to find that receiver, and the safeties, Jerome Henderson, that time, number 26, almost gets over there and makes the interception.
Dedrick Ward, filling in for Leon Johnson on punt return today, is back at about his own 40. Ward kicks it away. High floater, back Ward up to his 32. 40, cuts back inside midfield, and losing a helmet on the tackle is number 38, Ray Hill. Now that's a tough tackle. Some people are calm, others are losing their heads all around us. Bill Parcells looks over the play chart. 13:55 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. First down for the Jets.
I'm sorry, Greg, but they love when they get field position sometimes to take that shot, go for a big home run.
Testaverde, far side for Byers, incomplete. Ken Irvin coming up to make the play on the corner. We talked about where the Bills have started on offense. Take a look. This is the first time in the game that the Jets have begun a drive in Buffalo territory.
Really only one time when they started their own 45. They ended up getting a field goal out of it right before half. They've been successful moving the ball, but the turnovers is what stopped this Jet offense so far today.
1 interception and 2 Gerald Soule fumbles. 2nd and 10 from the 48. 2 and 3. Martin, right side, and not much there. Maybe 2. Henson and Gabe Northern with the tackle. And Curtis Martin, as we have said earlier, is finding yardage and long runs in particular hard to come by.
Well, they are hard to come by. I mean, the Jet offensive line kind of thrown together this year. A new center, new right tackle, rookie Jason Fabini, and they're having a hard time overpowering the defense. Curtis Martin is the kind of runner anyway that likes to dodge people. That's one of the reasons why you never see a fullback in front of him. Give him more room, give him space, and if it's open or somebody's there, let him dodge him.
Richie Anderson into the game for the Jets on 3rd and 8. Testaverde steps up, gonna run, brought down from behind at the 45-yard line. Hanson and Marcellus Wiley there, and the Jets will have to kick it away.
Really nobody open down the field, and Vinny Testaverde kind of fortunate this time. Gets pushed up in the pocket. Watch number 75, Marcellus Wiley, just keeps hustling. throws Fabini away, and then comes and makes that hit from behind. As a quarterback, when you're running and you think you're getting ready to get hit, you put two hands on that football.
His punt is caught at the 12-yard line by Kevin Williams. 12:33 to play, third quarter. Jets lead it 13-9.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Mitsubishi, the all-new 1999 Galant, and by Pizza Hut, home of the stuffed crust pizza, the most fun you can have with a pizza.
One of the things Bill Parcells tells us that he likes about Vinny Testaverde is he makes good decisions with the football. One of them may have been the fact that he pulled it down and was hit from behind, but it may have cost him a little bit.
Well, the last play, Marcellus Wiley fell on top of him. Vinny Testaverde gets the ball trapped underneath him, and we'll keep an eye on him, see if he comes back. That pass is incomplete, intended for Remersma. And it's second down. Watch what happens in the play right before the break. Vinny Testaverde scrambles out of the pocket. Now watch the ball. Boom. Marcellus Wiley just falls right on top of him. The ball gets trapped underneath him. He's on the sideline. He's kind of rubbing his chest, and Glenn Foley started warming up, and it looks like Testaverde has caught his breath and is going to be okay. Marcellus Wiley, one of those little guys at 270 pounds, falling on top of him. Thurman Thomas in the lineup on 2nd and 10. Thurman getting the football and has to fight to maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. Jason Ferguson, the first man into the backfield to trip him up. Boy, Jason Ferguson, number 72, has been the most solid defensive lineman for the New York Jets. Here he goes right around the block of Joe Panos, gets in the backfield and makes that tackle. Was it him that Coach Parcells showed that little copy to before practice the other day? It was Ernie Logan. It was Ernie Logan, defensive lineman. Somebody made a comment, the linemen, they're just guys. They're nothing special. This the defensive line of the New York Jets. He said they didn't think that you were too substantial, and Bill Parcells getting his little digs. 3rd and 11 from the 11. Flutie with time, throws it outside, incomplete. Doug Flutie now 7 of 20 this afternoon for 86 yards, and right now he is going through what is statistically his worst game of the season. Well, you know, it's interesting, Greg. The Jets might be the first team that's really game planned to stop Doug Flutie. In other words, everybody's been trying to stop the Buffalo offense, and now all of a sudden we're seeing schemes drawn up to stop him. Now how does Buffalo adjust to him? Moore's kick. Ward from his own 48. Right up the middle. And brought down at about the 37 or 38-yard line. 11:32 to play. The Jets will start from excellent field position when we come back to the Meadowlands after this. First down, Jets from the Buffalo 38. 3 safeties into the defensive secondary for the Bills and 1 cornerback because of 2 tight ends for the Jets. Well, really 3. Keith Byers, they count him as a tight end. Testaverde with time over the middle, complete and hit hard by Sam Cowart is number 28, Curtis Martin. You know, the Jets, Keith Byers, 2 tight ends in there. What they want you to do is just what Buffalo did. Here's the 3 tight ends, 2, 3, but they want you to think run, and then they try to surprise you with the pass, but Buffalo not caught by surprise, cover everybody, and they only let Curtis Martin catch it for a couple yards. 2nd and 8. Play action, Testaverde down the sideline, has a man open, touchdown! Dedrick Ward. Dedrick Ward against Henry Jones. Henry Jones is a safety. Dedrick Ward, maybe the fastest guy in the New York Jets. He just outruns the coverage of Henry Jones and gets the easy touchdown and the perfect throw by Vinny Testaverde. 36-yard touchdown. Call for the extra point. Vinny Testaverde's first pass of the day was intercepted. This one goes 36 yards for a touchdown.
a very excited Giant Stadium where the Jets have grabbed a 20-9 lead. And John Hall kicks to Kevin Williams. Williams 2 yards deep in the end zone for Buffalo. 15. Bounces off one tackler but can't get away, and he's brought down. Let's go back to why Dedrick Ward found a safety covering.
Well, let me show you what the Jets did. They put a slot formation down here. Now that puts the 2 cover guys, the corners, over to this side. Dedrick Ward, a wide receiver, goes out, gets covered by a safety. That's a mismatch in speed. That's what the Jets wanted. They got it. And you saw Dedrick Ward just run right by Henry Jones.
And as you mentioned before, Dedrick Ward can run.
Well, that's what they brought him here for, Greg. Bill Parcells drafted him a couple years ago in the 3rd round to be a return guy and, you know, like the 3rd or 4th receiver on your football team because of his speed.
First down from the 18-yard line. Thurman Thomas gets the handoff and bulls his way for about 3 to the 21. Pepper Johnson on the tackle. Now, during the commercial, you said, now we're going to see some Doug Flutie.
Well, that's what I think. I mean, you're getting to the situation now. It looks like the Jets have caught on to the running game, and I just think you've got to start spreading the field more, because the more you spread the field with your offense, the more lanes it creates for Doug Flutie to run in and to see down the field.
2nd and 6. Quick drop, sideline pass, complete to Andre Reed, and that's a first down for the Bills.
Wow. I mean, we saw a lot of things that time. We saw the strength of Doug Flutie's arm, that he could throw it to the sidelines with his ease like any good NFL quarterback. But watch this. Aaron Glenn goes underneath for the interception. The ball, with the speed and the strength of Doug Flutie's throwing arm, gets by Aaron Glenn before he can turn around and see it.
First down, Buffalo, their own 33. Flutie, far side. Complete, just shy of midfield to Kevin Williams.
Well, that time, once again, we're going to see Doug Flutie just drops back. Gets that little drift going, and you can see when he lets it go, it's pretty, and it's got a little steam on it. Good adjustment, good job by Kevin Williams going up and kind of attacking the football, because Ray Mickens, number 24, had tight coverage.
So 2 passes, 2 first downs for Flutie and the Bills. They have now moved to their own 49. And this time, he's brought down in the backfield by Brian Cox. Brian Cox did not bite on the play action.
Well, I don't know why more teams don't do it against teams that like this fake one-way, pass the other type of action. Doug Flutie faking to the left. Hey, Brian Cox doesn't care about that run at all. He goes right for the quarterback, and this is the thing that Bill Parcells said that's kind of surprised him about Brian Cox. What did he say that? He goes, he is an explosive hitter. He can really drive through the person who has the football, and that's one of the reasons why he's been, you know, an impact defensive player for years in the National Football League.
Brian Cox is a guy who came out of the East St. Louis area, and Bill Parcells says, hey, you come out of there, you got to be tough.
Well, I think you're right. There's a lot to that, and Brian Cox has fit in well and been a good part of the Jets defense.
2nd and 18. Quick drop, quick slant, incomplete. Intended for Eric Moulds, broken up by Otis Smith.
Well, the Jet defenders, even last year when they were giving up some big touchdowns and things, I thought they were always very good at stopping these short passes. And that time, a good job by Otis Smith, timed it perfectly. Yeah, there was a little contact, but it was at the exact moment the ball got there.
Flutie and the Bills, 1 of 8 on 3rd down so far tonight.
Crowd noise making it tough. He's awful close to the center.
Going down the sideline, Moulds open, complete, and out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. First down, Buffalo. That time, he beat Otis Smith down the sideline.
I just said something about the Jets. Otis Smith not giving up those big plays, but look at Doug Flutie, how close he is, but he doesn't like the silent snap because he wants his offensive lineman to hear him calling those signals. And Eric Moulds, just a little hesitation, really good move by him. Just that slight hesitation made Otis Smith slow down and created that separation. And look at Doug Flutie, the perfect pass to him.
Clock moving, coming up on 7:45 to play here in the third. First down at the 23. Flutie, time, runs it up the middle now and is dropped. Ernie Logan made the tackle.
I see that's something you didn't see from the Buffalo Bills 3 or 4 weeks ago. Doug Flutie, first down in the shotgun. And, of course, he loves being in the shotgun. And, you know, talking to him, and if you remember, 8 years in the Canadian Football League, he told us last night, the last 6 years he was up there, strictly shotgun. Everything out of the shotgun. The only time he went underneath the center was down on the goal line.
8 Canadian Football League seasons, 6 most outstanding player awards, 3 Grey Cup championships. Second and 8. Throws it down the sideline, and that's incomplete. And a penalty marker flies now. Aaron Glenn doing hand-to-hand combat with Quinn Early.
That's a good call. Aaron Glenn definitely was making contact with Quinn Early.
Pass interference, 31 defense, first down.
Well, they're both putting their hands on each other, but Aaron Glenn stopped the progress of the wide receiver. They're going to throw the flag, and he wants it. You got it.
Now, that ball landed a fair distance out of bounds. That's one of those things where you'd say, well, if the rule says that the ball is not catchable.
Hey, but I always say the quarterback sees the interference, too. They know the guy's not going to be open. They throw it away, so you have to throw the penalty flag in those situations.
Thurman Thomas pulled down at the 10 by Mo Lewis.
You know, I mean, really, a lot of times the guy is not open, so you're not going to throw it close. So you throw the ball high and out of bounds, and all of a sudden they say the ball was not catchable. Well, that's why I threw it there, because they had a penalty. No, they were creating the penalty.
When we were talking about that, I was telling you, I don't like that rule that just because it's not catchable doesn't mean that you should negate pass interference.
That's right. Well, they very seldom you see that penalty called anymore in the National Football League. It always comes down, they'll call it holding.
You saw the graphic. The Bills' red zone offense has been outstanding this season. Flutie to his right, throws, end zone, incomplete, intended for Kevin Williams. Ray Mickens covering for the Jets. It's 3rd and 10.
I got to tell you, the Jet defense, this must really be tough. You got to be thinking when you're out there, Doug Flutie continuously being in that shotgun, you're a defender, man, you want to get to that quarterback. But they're showing some pretty good discipline, not overreacting and letting him step up inside. They're making him go sideline to sideline. If he steps up, look out.
Quick pitch, Thomas to the 5 and dropped down at about the 3-yard line. What does Wade Phillips do?
Oh, you kick the field goal, 20-9. You make it 20-12. They get you within a touchdown. 3-yard line, and that's a tough spot to score from.
The way the Jet defense has played so far today, I agree. You take the points wherever you can get them if you're Wade Phillips. Christie, 3 for 3. This one will be considerably shorter than everything else he's tried so far today. That kick from 23 yards out is good. Buffalo has now scored 25 consecutive trips into the red zone, and they narrow the lead to 20-12. No doubt a little offensive strategy being discussed as the Jet offense prepares to take the field again. 5.5 minutes to play, third quarter. A look at the Buffalo scoring drive, culminating in the Christie field goal. And it's a 20-12 Jets lead as Christie kicks to Kevin Williams from the 8. 20, 25, 30, 36-yard line. Joe Cummings makes the tackle.
You know, Greg, Mark Pike, number 94, 13 years in the league. He is on this team because of special teams. And one of the few big guys in the NFL, maybe the only one, that's the reason he's on it, running down and watch what he has to do. For 13 years, takes on 2 people, just gets hammered, but that's his job. And if you watch him during the game, and he catches my eye all the time. He's always running around, getting loose, ready for the next special team.
When you say one of the few guys, one of the few big guys playing
That's
special
what I meant,
teams
one of
on a
the few
regular
big
basis. Testaverde to throw on first down. Has time, throws, complete. And Wayne Corbett is backed up after the catch. That's an 8-yard pickup. Clock continues to move, and we're under 5 minutes to play now here in the third.
I think the thing that surprised me so far about today's game, a couple things, but one, the New York Jet offense, it's kind of evident that the pass is going to be their way to move the ball and score, but the pass protection has been excellent for Vinny Testaverde overall.
On second and short, they give it to Curtis Martin, who pulls his way close to midfield for a first down. Sam Rogers dragged him down, but it's a New York first down.
And that's what you kind of do. See, you keep throwing the ball, you get good situations, and then you give it to Curtis Martin, kind of catch the defense off guard, create good situations for your running game.
Jets first down now from their own 49, leading 20 minutes to 12 and 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Testaverde. Quick pass out of the backfield. Martin to the 40, inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And that'll be enough for another Jets first down. A pickup of 14 on the play.
That was another little wrinkle the New York Jets put in here. A little play action fake. Snuck Curtis Martin out of the backfield. And this is what they want to do. You know, you'd like to get a guy, Curtis Martin, who has the speed and is able to make that first guy miss. You want to get him in the open field. The one thing Curtis Martin hasn't done yet for the New York Jets, he hasn't made that big play. In other words, take that short pass and go 50 or 60 yards for a touchdown.
First down, Jets from the 39-yard line. The pitch, Curtis Martin cuts it back this way now, across the 35 and down to about the 33-yard line. Coming up on 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter, Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan from the Meadowlands. The New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills in a bit of a field goal contest. 4 field goals for the Bills, 2 for the Jets, and the Jets lead at 20-12.
Well, the New York Jets, we've just telling people, you know, they're moving the ball well against this Buffalo defense. The only thing that's really stopped them all day long, 3 turnovers.
Gerald Sowell fumbled twice. Testaverde threw an interception on the very first play of the game. But you see the passing yardage in favor of Testaverde and the Jets. Testaverde going to throw it again. As time, down the sideline for Johnson. Goes up in the air and it falls incomplete. Thomas Smith, the defender on the play.
This might be a case, Vinny Testaverde, the big strong arm, just tried to throw it on a line drive. But Keyshawn Johnson gets by Thomas Smith. Raises that hand. You're right. You are open. But you could see Thomas Smith makes up that ground because of the line drive throw. And watch Vinny Testaverde. I saw his reaction immediately. He knew it. Ah, come on.
We'd like to get some air under that.
Put some air. If he didn't let him down in the end zone, that would have been a touchdown.
3rd and 4 on the draw. And Curtis Martin doesn't go anywhere. He runs into one Bruce Smith.
Well, even though it's a draw play, the offensive lineman, you fake like it's a pass, you got to at least slow him down a little. And Bruce Smith, he has a one-track mind. He's going to the quarterback, and, well, if the running back just gets in the way, you stick an arm out and grab him. Watch him. Makes a good move, comes around the defense, and that is a super play by Bruce Smith, grabbing Curtis Martin.
And on 4th and 6, Bill Parcells and the Jets are going to go for it.
Well, this is the spot of the field where you would do that. The 35-yard line of the Buffalo Bills, you don't want to kick a long field goal, so you take the chance to pick up the first down.
Jets have converted half of their attempts on 4th down, and now they call a timeout. They call a timeout as the shot clock was winding down, or the play clock.
Play clock, that's right.
Let's take this opportunity to remind you you're watching football, not basketball, and that tonight on CBS, if you're a smoker and your sex life isn't all it could be or should be, tonight's 60 Minutes is one broadcast you cannot afford to miss. Then it's Touched by an Angel, followed by a special CBS miniseries, Mama Flora's Family. Cicely Tyson stars an Alex Haley story that picks up where Roots left off. It's all coming up tonight here on CBS. So, go ahead, Phil.
Well, I was going to say the one thing that Bill Parcells, over his coaching career, has not been afraid to do is go for, in all types of situations, go for it on 4th down. But again, he's looking at this situation. Don't miss the long field goals. That gives him great field position. And so what if I punt it? My punter's probably going to kick it in the end zone, so I'm only going to, gain 15 yards. This is where you should take those chances.
Keyshawn Johnson, Ward, and Corbett, the wide receivers. Testaverde throws, complete, close to a first down is Keyshawn Johnson.
Boy, Keyshawn Johnson is earning his money today. He is catching the ball in some tough, tight situations. And what happens to Jets? Watch Wayne Corbett come underneath, cause a little bit of confusion. That lets Keyshawn Johnson get off free, and then he works to the open spot. And watch the perfect throw by Vinny Testaverde.
Keyshawn Johnson, 6 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown today after just 1 catch for 9 yards against the Chiefs last week. Coming this way. Mark cuts inside, across the 25, and we have a flag on the play.
Well, when that flag comes from that far out, it's got to be holding on the offense.
My partner, the psychic.
Yes, I know. Sometimes you just got to do it all.
Holding, 76 offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And I was just getting ready to say, Jumbo Elliott came out and just made a great block. I watched him pull the left tackle. Watch Jumbo Elliott, number 76. He probably can't believe it. I think this is him. I can't. Here he comes. He's just hitting a little guy, and he just runs him over. He hit Eric Smedley, and that is not holding. The arm did get outside, but that's called a run over.
Coming up on half a minute to play here in the 3rd quarter. Pass to Johnson, and Johnson gets out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. That's a 7-yard pickup and stops the clock with 31 seconds to play.
Because Jumbo didn't sound the horn loud enough when he was running him over. I don't know. But sometimes when the officials see situations like that, his arm was outside, he's running the guy over, they just throw the flag instinctively. Keyshawn Johnson with 7 catches, and Jumbo Elliott, he's still probably going, I can't believe that was called a hold.
Well, Jumbo is going to come over and have a conversation with an official as time winds down here in the 3rd quarter. Jumbo says, hey, what did I do? It's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Jets 20 and the Bills 12. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Sims and Armagetae and Greg Gumbel, welcome back for the start of the 4th quarter. The Jets have moved to the 30-yard line of the Buffalo Bills. 2nd and 12. Curtis Martin comes this way looking for running room and squirts for a couple. And it'll be 3rd and long. Marlo Perry, number 58, leading the tacklers for the Bills.
Well, the Jets in this position on the field, a couple things they're thinking of. Let's don't make a mistake. What we want to do for sure is get a field goal try out of it. 8-point lead. You get up to 11. Now it's 2 scores for the Buffalo Bills to get back and tie the game.
Richie Anderson into the game for the Jets. 5 wide receivers for the Jets. No one behind Testaverde in the backfield on 3rd and 10. Time over the middle. Has his man. Corbett inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line, and a first down for the Jets. 16-yard pickup, and count Corbett for another first down reception.
When the Jets go to 5 wide receivers, it's almost like clockwork. They're going to throw this ball to Wayne Corbett. He's so good underneath because he's quick and small. This time, a crossing route inside. Wayne Corbett finds an open little space in the defense and picks up the first down.
For the 2nd time today, Manny Martin is down on the field for the Buffalo Bills. We'll check on his condition when we come back.
Watch Manny Martin, number 21. Here he is. Misses the tackle, then hits Henry Jones, number 20.
Manny Martin sitting on the sideline. First down for the Jets. Testaverde looks to the end zone. Corbett, touchdown!
This is a play that the New York Jets and Bill Parcells, they've been running for a long time. The wide receiver comes underneath the tight end, sneaks up the field. The defense, they lose track of him. Nobody knows who's to take him. And that time, Wayne Corbett gets the easy touchdown.
The free agent signee out of Hofstra on a 12-yard touchdown catch. John Hall's point after is good. And with 13:40 remaining here in the fourth quarter, the Jets on Testaverde with another touchdown pass. This one to Wayne Corbett puts the Jets up 27-12. Back at the Meadowlands, John Hall set to kick to number 82, Kevin Williams. We should point out there are two Kevin Williams in this game. The other plays secondary for the New York Jets. This Kevin Williams of the Bills takes the ball at the 2. 15, 20, 30, 40, penalty marker flies, and he's out of bounds across midfield. And now let's check what the flag is all about.
Bruce Smith was saying last night, one of the reasons why this team has come from 0-3 to 5-3 is Kevin Williams. His special teams play has really been the difference in this football team, helped putting them in those good situations for offense and defense.
And it's going to come back. That's going to back the Bills up.
Holding 31 on the return team on the run back. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Number 31 is Ray Jackson, but let's go back to the touchdown.
Let's look what happens. Manny Martin comes out. Eric Smedley now at safety. Watch the tight end come up and occupy him, and then Wayne Corbett is just going to sneak by there. The safety gets him, and then Wayne Corbett, just that split second, gets by him, makes that touchdown.
And a touchdown for the Jets, and the Bills now first down from their own 21. Flutie from the shotgun. Quick flip to Thurman Thomas, and he's caught from behind by Ernie Logan, number 93.
Boy, good reaction by Ernie Logan. The defensive line of the New York Jets maybe proving somebody wrong. They are a big part of why this Jet defense, orchestrated by Bill Belichick, it's played so well in recent weeks. And even Wade Phillips, the coach of the Buffalo Bills, he just said this defense does a lot of things too, and they make it difficult for an offense to zero in on one specific defense.
Second and 12. Defensive linemen moving all over the place. Flutie flips it out. This side, incomplete. Batted down by number 26, Jerome Henderson.
Boy, did you see that last play? The Jets are moving. We're talking about how they confuse the offense. I think they confused themselves this time. They're all moving. Everybody's yelling. Mo Lewis coming on the blitz. Brian Cox blitzing too. Doug Flutie, though, does a good job anticipating, throws the ball out there, and Jerome Henderson, the defensive secondary, the New York Jets playing extremely well today.
You've talked about the defense. They come into this game ranked 7th in the NFL. They've allowed 17.4 points a game. That's 5th best in the NFL. Third and 12. Flutie with time. Over the middle. Picked off. Number 24, Ray Mickens.
Never had a chance. The ball, the throw, nothing was open. We talked about Ray Mickens. This is the exact play that he works on. Watch Ray Mickens to the top of your screen, number 24. Doug Flutie's going to throw it down the middle. He's underneath the receiver, playing the football, looking for the interception.
That is only the third time this season that Doug Flutie has been intercepted.
You talk about a guy playing a role for a football team and really doing it well and coming up big. Ray Mickens, you know, kind of in Bill Parcells' doghouse last year when he took over, but he has found that niche on the football team, and he does it very well.
From the 45, Curtis Martin, left side. Down to about the 43, maybe the 42. Some of the other scores around the lead. Seattle continues to beat up on Kansas City. Denver pitching a shutout over the San Diego Chargers as they look to stay perfect. And San Francisco, down earlier to Carolina, has now come back to take the lead. Well, you just can't trust anybody around the NFL these days.
Well, you know why, Craig? I think the reasons why we're seeing parity league post free agency, but I think the coaching all over the league has gotten so much better. It's hard to catch teams off guard.
2nd and 7. Curtis Martin dancing in the backfield and not getting much, if anything at all, on the play. It'll be 3rd and long.
You know, years ago, and it's starting to creep up there, when I played.
Years ago.
Well, it's not that bad, just 5 years. But you could almost look at your schedule, and you knew, and I wouldn't call out the names, but certain teams were coached by this coach, and in about mid-season, they'd give up. They'd make mistakes, and if you just came out and played solid, somewhere along the line, you know, they'd win. They'd lose the game for you, and they'd make it easy on you. Now, this league, no matter what a team's record is, they come out, they play hard, they're prepared by their coaches, so that draws the talent level a lot closer.
3rd and 7 at the 42 for the Jets. Testaverde pulls it down, gonna run. 1st down, yardage and more. 30, 25, out of bounds at the 24-yard line. 13-yard pickup, and we mentioned it earlier. Bill Parcells says what he likes the most about Vinny Testaverde, he makes terrific decisions with the football.
Well, he's really done that today. You know, a couple of times he threw into coverage, and Keyshawn Johnson came up with the big catches for him. But he's a big guy, 6'5", about 235, 240. But he is nimble, too. Moves around the pocket well, and when he has to run, he can get it done. And you're right, Greg, just good decision-making.
You saw Vinny looking over his shoulder. You had to figure he was looking for 78, Bruce Smith.
Well, he knows at this time of his career, been in the league quite a few years, when you take off on those scrambles, they're usually going to catch up to you from behind. And doing the smart thing, too, look for that sideline.
Clock continues to move, 10.5 to play here in the 4th quarter.
Vinny Testaverde taking his time, making sure that play clock's down as low as possible.
Martin is going to get nothing on this before he is run out of bounds by John Holisek. Talking with John Holisek yesterday, here's a guy who has had 3 tears of the ACL.
In his right knee, and it's plays with a brace on his right leg now. Good, solid linebacker, taking the place of Chris Philman, and has filled in very well. Wade Phillips says this guy is a good football player. He's big, he's fast, and, you know, he studies hard, and that's why he's been a productive player for the Bills defense this year.
2nd and 9 for the Jets. Testaverde is going to take the sack back at about the 34-yard line, and that's Bruce Smith. First sack of the day.
Well, that won't make the coach very happy. You're in field goal range. You're down there where you got a chance. If nothing goes right for you, you can kick the field goal. Testaverde, Bruce Smith, 78, just keeps working over that quarterback coming at him. That time he took advantage of Todd Berger, the left guard.
Number 27, Ken Irvin, slow to get off the turf. And the clock is stopped with 9:31 to play here in the 4th quarter. You know, sacks by Bruce Smith against the New York Jets are nothing unusual. His favorite team in all of the National Football League has been the New York Jets. We'll be right back. 22 to play here in the 4th quarter. Bruce Smith telling us last night, if you want to make a name for yourself, New York is the place to make it. And he has more sacks against the New York Jets than any other team in the National Football League. Testaverde throws it away.
Guess who was chasing him?
Wouldn't be 78, would it?
Oh, it was a good guess, Greg. Oh boy, Bruce Smith, all these years in the league, he really hasn't lost anything. I mean, he still can play the run. He can chase plays, running plays from behind and catch it on the other side of the field. And of course, pass rushing, still one of the top 3 or 4 in the National Football League.
And John Hall is now going to line up a 49-yard field goal attempt. He made one from 49 yards out earlier and from 43 as well. Gets it away. And it is good. And a penalty marker is down. And this is going to be running into the kicker penalty against the Buffalo Bills.
Well, this is one of those penalties. It's a personal foul. It could be a first down if the Jets accepted it. I don't know if you do it. This puts you up 18 points. That's 3 scores. If you do something, take the penalty, don't score, you're only up 15. That's 2 scores.
Well, let's see what Bernie Kukar tells us.
Personal foul, running into the kicker, roughing the kicker, excuse me. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So Bill Parcells is going to take the yardage, take the 3 points off the board.
If you heard it, it's roughing the kicker, not running into dangerous position. John Hall does a good job getting up over as Thomas Smith, number 28, sails out, tries to block it, doesn't do it. And this is why I guess I couldn't be a coach, you know. The 3 scores looks good to me, but Bill Parcells, the Jets, they look at it. They want to put this game away for sure with 8 minutes and 58 seconds to go.
The next time we talk to Bill Parcells, I am going to absolutely delight in telling him that you would have gone the other way with this call.
You know, listen, so what? He didn't, that's nothing new. We disagreed for so many years over so many subjects.
First down from the 16. Curtis Martin dances past a couple of tacklers in the backfield and gets up to the 12 and maybe the 11-yard line.
You know, Greg, I think he even said that to us when we were talking to him on Friday.
That he doesn't care what you think?
Well, yeah, that's right. When we were talking about him, Brian Cox and some of his players, he encourages them to, you know, to get in some debates, as you would say, over certain situations. And he has a few on this team. Brian Cox, Keyshawn Johnson, who like to talk back to him every once in a while.
The New York Jets in search of their 4th straight win. They have not won 4 in a row since November of 1993. 2nd and 5 from the 11. Martin cuts across the 10-yard line to about the 8, a pickup of 3. John Holisek with yet another tackle for the Bills.
And if nothing else, what the Jets are really doing here, 2 running plays. They're letting the play clock. Vinny Testaverde is making that thing. He's snapping that football with 1 second to go. So they're looking at it. At worst, kick the field goal again, be in the same situation. 18 points up. The Bills probably have about at least 2 to 3 minutes less playing time now to deal with their offense.
Bill Parcells was not a happy camper week 5 with a Jets loss at St. Louis, 30-10. But they have since beaten New England, Atlanta, Kansas City. 3rd and 3. Martin, this side, cuts it back. And gets close to first down yardage. Vinny Testaverde says he got there, but we'll wait for the official's call. The crowd says he got there, and now the officials say he got there.
Well, that was a big first down. It'll take a couple more minutes off the clock against the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, you know, as a quarterback, I always used to sit on the field, and I always got nervous when I saw Bill looking down at that play chart. You know, especially when I played, because that meant it was almost assuredly going to be a run. So, no matter what the situation.
1st and goal for the Jets from the 6. Martin, big haul up the middle, touchdown. This just up from Bill Parcells. He called the right play.
Well, the Buffalo defense, it's fought hard all day. They just keep getting put in tough situations. It's finally cracked against the running game. The Jets, you know, doing a super job that time, just punching it in for the touchdown.
That is only the 3rd touchdown of the year for Curtis Martin. But it gives the Jets some terrific breathing room. With the extra point, the Jets grab a 34-12 lead with just over 6.5 minutes to play. Here in the 4th quarter, Curtis Martin, a 6-yard burst to pay dirt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by First Union, your guide to the financial world, and by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
6:38 to play, 4th quarter. The Jets now with a 34-12 lead, and they get set to kick it away to Kevin Williams, who's at the goal line for the Bills. A yard deep in the end zone. 15 to 30. And brought down at about the 32 or 33-yard line by Chris Hayes. Let's remind you, tonight on CBS, if you're a smoker and your sex life isn't all it could be or should be, Tonight's 60 Minutes is one broadcast you can't afford to miss. Then it's Touched by an Angel, followed by a special CBS miniseries, Mama Flora's Family. Cecily Tyson stars in Alex Haley's story that picks up where Roots left off. It's all coming up tonight, right here on CBS. First down for Flutie and the Bills from the 32-yard line. And Thurman Thomas for a couple. Well, Wade Phillips was pleased with the way his team has been playing, and why not? You know, they lost the first 3 games. The players say they never lost confidence because the coach didn't lose confidence.
Coach didn't lose confidence. He said, hey, all the numbers were there in our favor. He thought the team would turn around and would start winning those football games. And by not panicking, the team responded.
Mo Lewis with the sack of Flutie, second sack of the day.
Well, it's hard to catch Doug Flutie in the backfield, but that time Mo Lewis, he has speed. Look at him, number 57 coming from the outside. Nobody blocking him. Doug Flutie trying to look down the field. He didn't even have time to react to the blitzing linebacker.
Sacked 4 times all season, twice today.
But Greg, you're talking about Wade Phillips. You know, I had a chance a few weeks ago to ask him, you know, what's the difference between being a head coach now than a few years ago at Denver? And he explained to me, now he's a much more hands-on coach. He sticks his nose in on all phases of the game.
There's a penalty marker in the backfield. Flutie throws on the run and throws it away.
It's going to be holding. Robert Hicks, number 77, did the proper thing. He was beat right off the ball. Just tackled that defender. Chad Cascadden, number 53, had the corner on him.
Cascadden missed the last 3 games with a hamstring injury.
Holding, 77, offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
And that'll bring up a punting situation for the Bills. Let's take a look.
Look at Robert Hicks. There they are on the outside. He gets the corner, and big Robert Hicks just falls on him.
That was a nice takedown.
Yes, it was.
Could be governor with a takedown like that. Dedrick Ward. Fair catch at the 42-yard line. So what's at stake today? As we said at the beginning, Miami a winner today, New England a loser. The winner of this game, and right now it looks like it'll be the New York Jets, would not only pull into a tie with Miami, but look what it would do for them within the division. They would go to 4-0 and have a leg up on any tiebreakers that you can talk about.
Well, that's what it is, Greg. It's the tiebreakers. That's what it does for the New York Jets, because the way the division is shaping up, they all have to play each other down the line. So whoever has that best division record is really going to have a leg up.
Vinny Testaverde is finished for the rest of this day. And Ray Lucas is the quarterback.
Vinny Testaverde, nice solid day, 22 of 31, 3 touchdowns.
Lucas gives the ball, and that's Gerald Soule back onto the field. In a redemption mode, I would think. Soule with 2 fumbles early on, and didn't see any more action until that last carry. You see the stats and the numbers on Ray Lucas.
You know, Ray Lucas, last year, he was a pretty big part of the Jets offense, coming in those special situations, kind of being like the Cordell Stewart for the New York Jets. This year, hasn't had a chance to do it because the Jet offense has been playing so well.
Number 99, Gabe Northern, comes up limping. That's the reason the clock is stopped here with 5:11 to play.
You know, you look at this game, Greg, and I mean, this is not the worst thing that could happen for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, 5-0, they've won a couple games on the road. They come down here. This is a tough situation. I don't think they've been faced with the situation this year. They played down in Carolina. The crowd wasn't that big of a factor. Coming here today, a hot football team. The crowd was behind them. Tough circumstances for a team that's learning to win again. Tough for them to overcome. And now they go back next week. Play the New England Patriots. That is going to be a good football game. Both teams are going to be a little desperate.
They get right back into the fray once again. Soule across midfield and down to about the 46 or 47 yard line. Well, Gerald Soule was running the ball very well in the first half. Just had this penchant for not having the ball at the end of the play.
Well, you know, we said it earlier. He really found a little niche for himself on the offense. It looked good. He was kind of sticking it up in there, kind of overpowering the defense when the opportunity was there. Something, again, Curtis Martin can't do, but, you know, those fumbles have a way of pulling you out of the lineup.
Clock continues to move, coming up on 4 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. First down, Jets at the Buffalo 46. Soul moves the pile a little bit down about the 42-yard line.
He's got some anger in those legs right now. You know, he's going to drive that pile.
Soul at 6 feet, 245 in his second season out of Tulane, claimed on waivers from the Green Bay Packers in the summer of '97.
You know, to go back, you know, just talking about Wade Phillips as I stand here, but it was interesting to hear what he said. When he was in Denver, the coach, he said, I let all my assistants do the coaching. I stayed out of the way. But he learned it doesn't work that way sometimes. So in Buffalo, I said he just takes care of everything. He watches offense, defense. He really keeps his eye on special teams.
Soul, left side.
And if you go up and watch the Buffalo Bills practice and prepare for a game, we had a chance a couple weeks ago on a Friday. It's pretty impressive. They pay attention. It's really disciplined, organized, and you can see why this team has turned it around and, you know, came into this game today 5-3.
Buffalo calls a timeout to stop the clock with 3:15 remaining. And we're talking about the Jets going to 4-0 in the division with a win here today. The remaining opponents, let's take a look at their schedule. They're on the road the next 2 weeks against the Colts and against the Oilers. They'll play Carolina here at home and then Seattle before traveling to Miami and Buffalo and then at home against New England. Their remaining opponents are a combined 25-31, and that's the easiest record among the contenders in the AFC
Well,
East.
yeah, because the AFC East, they all got to play each other. And there's so many good records in it, so it doesn't look real easy for anybody. But, you know, you can't look at your schedule anymore and say, hey, we can win this, we can. Who knows? All the games are going to be tough. Your team's got to be ready to play.
3rd and 4 for Lucas and the Jets. Lucas throws this side. Kyle Brady. 25. 15. Inside the 15 and a first down for the Jets. Brought down by Henry Jones and John Holisek.
Now you see the difference between a tight end and wide receiver. Now, a wide receiver would have caught that ball and he'd be looking for that end zone. Now Kyle Brady, he catches the ball and then look what he does. Good fake by Ray Lucas. Kyle Brady's at the bottom of your screen. Now watch what he does. He catches it and he's just going, now who's going to catch me? He's just looking to get tackled. He's not in a big hurry. Lets him jump on, carries him for a few extra yards.
You quarterbacks are really greedy.
Hey,
really greedy.
Man, you know, you only get in these situations a few times in a year. You got to get those stats looking good.
First down from the 13-yard line. Soul inside the 10 before he's bounced back. And I would guess we'll get the 2-minute warning before the Jets run another play. Unless the Bills stop it with a timeout, there really doesn't seem to be much sense in doing that with a 34-12 count on the scoreboard. 2 minutes to play. We'll be back to the Meadowlands right after this. Two minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the Bills and the Jets. I'm Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms and Armin Katsay, and it's 34-12. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game. Then Touched by an Angel and CBS start of the mini-series. As the clock continues to run and run down on the Buffalo Bills.
Of course, the Bills, they wish the Jets would just take a knee and get this thing going.
Get out of Dodge without any further damage.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's at this time of the game, you're on the losing end of it. It really is just, you can't wait for it to get over. Emotionally, you're just spent. Of course, on the other sideline, you feel good. Now you're trying to decide, what am I going to do after the game?
3rd and 8. Sold, and not much there. Doug Flutie, all of the conversation has been surrounding Flutie these last several weeks, and justifiably so. He's had 4 straight games of 200 yards or more passing. He's thrown for 154 today.
Well, they hit a little roadblock today, and you know, if you're a fan, if you're a Doug Flutie fan, don't panic. You know, there was going to be a tough day along the way. They tried to make some plays happen today, but the New York Jets had a good game plan against this Buffalo Bill offense. They kept Doug Flutie in the pocket. He couldn't move around and make those plays he's been making the last few weeks.
So the Jets, with a half minute to play at 4th and 6, take the delay of game as they take more time off the clock. Meanwhile, Vinny Testaverde, you see him there with Keyshawn Johnson, 22 of 31, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception on a deflected pass.
You know, you got to admit, when you watch him play, I don't know if you've been a fan of Vinny Testaverde's, but the way he looks, we know we've talked about the good decisions, but the thing that really gets me when I watch him just physically, how well he throws the football.
Soul, left side, and will come up well short of the first down, and so the ball will go over on downs as the clock stops with 25 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter. So Doug Flutie will take out one more walk onto the field. Hand the ball off once, I believe, and call it a night.
Yeah, as a quarterback, really here, you either want to hand it off, but if you want to throw it, let's throw a screen. I don't want to get hit anymore. The game's near the end.
The Jets defense allowing 11 points a game here at home and more than 24 on the road. Home sweet home it is, and Flutie will take the knee, and that'll do it. The Jets have snapped the 6-game losing streak to the Buffalo Bills, and all in all played themselves a terrific football game today.
They played well on both sides of the ball. The offense very creative, really pushed against the Buffalo defense all day long. The Buffalo defense, they hung in there for a while, but finally they broke.
Once again, our final score, the Jets 34 and the Buffalo Bills 12. Next Sunday, CBS Sports features regional NFL action. Many of you will see Doug Flutie and these Buffalo Bills host the New England Patriots in another key AFC East matchup. Others will see the Jets travel to Indianapolis to face Peyton Manning and the Colts. Check your local listings for the game in your area, beginning with Jim Nance and company on the NFL Today. Tonight on CBS, if you're a smoker and your sex life isn't all it could be or should be, tonight's 60 Minutes is one broadcast you can't afford to miss. Then it's Touched by an Angel, followed by a special CBS miniseries, Mama Flora's Family. For Phil Simms and Armin Gatayan, I'm Greg Gumbel. So long from the Meadowlands. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.